In an alternate world, King Albert of Elfrieden and Prime Minister Marx make the decision to call upon a hero to confront a grave danger. Kazuya Suma, a young man undergoing civil servant training, unexpectedly finds himself summoned as their hero. Albert and Marx provide an explanation that demons emerged a decade ago and conquered the northern realms. The remaining kingdoms have successfully repelled their invasion, but maintaining armies proves to be a costly endeavor. Hence, the bankrupt Elfrieden kingdom summons Kazuya to trade him to the Grand Chaos Kingdom in lieu of gold. Kazuya manages to persuade Albert to retain him, highlighting his training as a civil servant. Devoting 3 days to the task, Kazuya diligently learns all he can about Elfrieden's economy. On the 4th day, to Kazuya's astonishment, Albert declares his abdication from the throne, appointing Kazuya as his successor and revealing that he is to marry Lycia, Albert's daughter. Initially, Lycia suspects Kazuya of seizing the kingdom, yet she is taken aback to discover that he has already secured the funds for Grand Chaos by exchanging Elfrieden jewelry with the neighboring Amidina Principality. Lycia gradually realizes that Kazuya's other plans have also been meticulously devised. Meanwhile, Duchess Excel of Walter dispatches her granddaughter Canaria to act as a spy on Kazuya, assessing his true capabilities. Marx subjects Kazuya to a proficiency examination to evaluate his aptitude for magic. During this process, Kazuya makes an intriguing discovery: his magic enables him to transfer his consciousness into objects, thereby granting them the ability to act on his behalf. Utilizing this ability, he enchants pens to assist him with paperwork. Additionally, Kazuya assigns his assistants to the task of identifying instances of overspending and fraud within the kingdom's budget. Subsequently, Kazuya extends an invitation to Lycia, inviting her to visit Elfrieden's agricultural lands. It is during this visit that he highlights the issue of excessive cotton cultivation, which has rendered the crop practically worthless due to an oversupply surpassing the demand. Although Lycia is impressed by Kazuya's insightful observations, she expresses concern over his persistent mention of eventually abdicating the throne and returning to Japan. In a later encounter, Kazuya meets Captain Ludwin of the Royal Guard and divulges his dissatisfaction with Albert's current advisors, as they were responsible for Elfrieden's initial problems. Recognizing the need for new advisors, Kazuya employs his magical abilities to transmit a message to the entire kingdom, inspired by the teachings of his hero, Cao Cao. The message declares that he is willing to hire individuals with exceptional skills, regardless of their age, social background, or level of education. This proclamation serves as a catalyst, igniting inspiration throughout the entire kingdom and prompting numerous individuals to flock to the city, eager to showcase their talents through auditions. Lycia contemplates whether Kazuya would retain his kingship if she accepted his marriage proposal. Simultaneously, as individuals continue to showcase their skills through auditions, Kazuya encounters 5 individuals who are recognized as the most remarkable. One of them is Aisha Ujdred, a dark elf possessing extraordinary military prowess. Impressed by Kazuya's knowledge regarding the revival of the god-protected forest's withering trees, she pledges her loyalty and swears fealty to him. Junadoma, a human singer with ancestral ties to Lorelei, captivates the entire kingdom by performing a Japanese song from Kazuya's phone, uplifting the spirits of the people. Pancho Panicotta, an anxious and food-loving human, gains attention for his wide-ranging culinary experiences. Kazuya is thrilled to meet him, as he intends to utilize Pancho's knowledge to rescue the kingdom. In recognition of his skills, Kazuya bestows upon him the title Ishizuka. Witnessing their king honoring a man previously regarded as inconsequential, numerous others find themselves inspired to participate in the auditions. Hakuya Kwanmin, a human possessing unparalleled knowledge and memory, expresses a desire to serve as Kazuya's advisor after recognizing him as a capable ruler based on his treatment of Pancho. Lastly, Tomoe Ine, a mystic wolf girl who has experienced homelessness as a refugee, discloses her ability to communicate with animals. Overwhelmed by nerves, she prompts Kazuya to step down from his throne and kneel before her. It is during this intimate moment that she whispers something of utmost importance into Kazuya's ear. Kazuya discloses to Marx, Lycia, and Ludwin that Tomoe possesses the extraordinary ability to communicate with demons. This revelation brings a glimmer of hope in the ongoing war, as the lack of understanding demon language has been a significant barrier. With Tomoe's unique skill, the possibility of engaging in negotiations and achieving peace emerges. However, Kazuya worries that if news of Tomoe's power spreads, it could potentially provoke conflicts with other kingdoms who might seek to harness her abilities for themselves. In light of this concern, Marx proposes that Kazuya adopts Tomoe. However, Kazuya can only do so if he is married. Lycia suggests a solution by proposing that her parents adopt Tomoe and also bring Tomoe's mother and brother to live in the palace. Tomoe accepts this arrangement. Subsequently, Lycia becomes irritated when Kazuya claims that her bedroom is the only place where he can find solitude and relaxation. Meanwhile, Poncho returns from a mission to gather food. Without delay, Kazuya broadcasts a basic cooking program to the entire kingdom, demonstrating unfamiliar food items from other nations that can sustain them until he resolves the food shortage. Examples include octopus, burdock root, and giant locusts. Furthermore, Kazuya joyfully discovers that salted beans and fermented mashwater have a taste remarkably similar to miso and soy sauce. Poncho unveils the final food item, causing quite a commotion among the people. The creature in question is a slime, which, when prepared correctly, can be transformed into a dish resembling kudzu noodles. In a surprising turn of events, Marx declares his retirement from the position of prime minister and suggests Hakuya as his successor. Kazuya agrees to the proposal, assigning Marx a less demanding role in the hopes of leveraging his expertise in navigating kingdom politics. Hakuya insists that Kazuya takes the afternoon off to relax and concurrently arranges a date for Kazuya and Lycia, with Aisha serving as their bodyguard. During their conversation, Aisha reminds Kazuya to visit her forest soon, as some of the elves are adamantly refusing to cut down trees, even if it contributes to the forest's overall health. To maintain a low profile, Kazuya, Lycia, and Aisha disguise themselves in military academy uniforms and decide to dine at the cafe where Juna is employed. While enjoying their meal, it becomes evident that Aisha possesses a secret gluttonous side that rivals even Poncho's. In a surprising revelation, Kazuya discovers that polygamy is legally permitted and socially acceptable within the kingdom. To his astonishment, Lycia declares her willingness to allow Kazuya to have up to 8 wives, including herself, ensuring that she can have him to herself at least one day every week. As Kazuya ponders the implications of this, he overhears a young woman engaged in a heated argument with a man seated at the adjacent table. 6. Kazuya narrates that in Elfrieden, to ensure equality, non-human species serve as the generals of the army, navy, and air force since the royalty are humans. However, currently, these generals seem to be disregarding Kazuya. While at Juna's cafe, a mystic fox named Cade Foxia engages in a heated argument with her friend Habert Magna, who contemplates supporting the Carmine Duchy against Kazuya. Cade accurately deduces Kazuya's intentions of striving to improve the kingdom. At that moment, Kazuya reveals himself and highlights the potential consequences for Cade, a mage in Elfrieden's army, if Duke Carmine were to instigate a civil war. It would mean that Cade might have to fight and face the risk of death, with a slim chance that Habert would have to confront her in battle. Recognizing Kazuya's wisdom surpasses his initial estimation, Habert aligns himself with Kazuya's cause. Impressed by Kazuya's astute observation of Habert's feelings for Cade, Lycia expresses her admiration. However, she remains concerned that Kazuya still talks about abdicating and prioritizing love over politics. Glaive, Habert's father, approaches Kazuya to seek his forgiveness for his son's actions. Rather than harboring any grudge, Kazuya promotes Cade to the position of staff officer in his royal guard and transfers Habert to the same unit to serve as Cade's subordinate. In a gesture of gratitude, Glaive requests a private meeting with Kazuya to provide him with significant information. There are 6 disciplines within the realm of magic, encompassing the 4 elements, as well as light and darkness. Those proficient in fire magic join the army, wind magic practitioners become part of the Air Force, water magic users serve in the Navy, and those skilled in earth magic are enlisted in the Forbidden Army. As for light magic, it is predominantly utilized by medics, while dark magic exhibits various abilities. Kazuya harnesses his magical powers to control a doll named Little Musashibo. Little Musashibo embarks on adventures alongside explorers who are mapping tunnels beneath the city. During their expedition, they encounter a salamander that forces them to flee. Fortunately, Little Musashibo comes to the rescue and saves one of the adventurers named Yuno, who develops feelings for the doll. Kazuya's secretaries play a crucial role in securing funds for Project Veneta Nova, which involves the construction of a new port on Elfriden's coast and the development of hundreds of new roads. Kazuya pays a visit to Veneta Nova only to discover that the construction has been halted by an elder from a nearby village named Europe. According to Europe, the land belongs to Kajin, the god of the sea, and is protected by a sea monster. After conversing with Europe, Kazuya realizes that the monster is merely a legend serving as a warning about the dangerous nature of the land. He deduces that a tsunami strikes the area every few hundred years, leading him to relocate Veneta Nova and enlist the assistance of Earth mages to construct massive flood defenses. This impressive display of foresight impresses Lycia, as Kazuya is ensuring the kingdom's safety for potentially thousands of years to come. Kazuya ponders the differences between Elfriden's technology and that of Japan. Recognizing the shortage of laborers in Elfriden, Kazuya enlists 50 soldiers from the Forbidden Army, including Cade and Habert, to construct the road network. Upon inspecting the road, Kazuya observes that it not only enhances transportation, but also safeguards the well-being of wildlife. Aisha receives distressing news from her father, Chief Woden, informing her that a landslide in the god-protected forest has devastated half of their village. Kazuya promptly mobilizes the 50 soldiers while instructing Lycia to gather additional reinforcements. Realizing that the forest is a 2-day journey on foot, Kazuya devises a faster method of transportation by employing wagons pulled by earth dragons. Together with his men, Kazuya initiates the rescue operations using prototype wooden mice controlled by his magic, successfully locating all the missing dark elves, whether alive or deceased. Lycia arrives with the reinforcements to administer medical treatments, clear the landslide debris, and commence the process of rebuilding the village. Ropther, Woden's brother, is overcome with grief as he mourns the loss of his wife and tends to his seriously injured daughter. Aisha reveals that Ropther was among the staunch opponents of Kazuya's proposal to thin out overpopulated trees, a measure that could have potentially prevented the landslide. Lycia is taken aback when Kazuya assumes responsibility and blames himself for not ensuring adequate disaster preparedness for the entire kingdom. Kazuya is experiencing insomnia due to stress, prompting Juna to sing him to sleep. General Castor Vargas of the Air Force contemplates rebelling against Kazuya with the support of the Amidina Principality, although General Excel Walter of the Navy is hesitant. Army General Garrick Carmine harbors deep resentment towards Kazuya for removing authoritative figures in the name of efficiency. In Amidina, King Gaius unveils his ultimate plan to betray both sides. Kazuya announces the end of food shortages and prepares to implement a plan he deems cruel but necessary for Elfriden's security. Despite Minister Colbert's warnings that the plan violates the prohibition on inter-kingdom conflicts, Gaius disregards them. As a result, Colbert is dismissed from his position, and Gaius' daughter, Roroa, involves Colbert in her own scheme. Kazuya convenes a meeting with the generals and presents them with an ultimatum: either they submit to his rule or be branded as traitors. Excel, upon hearing that Kazuya intends no revenge and will maintain Lagoon City as Elfriden's naval base, decides to comply. Castor, however, adamantly refuses to accept Kazuya as the king and joins forces with Garrick, thus becoming a traitor. In a gesture symbolizing unwavering determination, Lycia cuts her hair, an act significant to someone like Garrick, who possesses traits of a lion man. Kazuya expresses gratitude to Juna for facilitating peace with her grandmother, Excel, prior to the meeting. Amidina initiates their invasion strategy with the objective of occupying Altamura, the southernmost city of Elfrieden. Weistgaro, the lord of Altamura, surrenders to King Gaius under the condition that he is given time to persuade his soldiers, who remain loyal to Kazuya, to surrender as well. Habert and Cade, leading the Forbidden Army and the Elven forces, engage in battle against Carmine's army and emerge victorious. Carmine faces criticism from the corrupt nobles he had sheltered, but he retaliates by admonishing their lack of battlefield experience and devises a secret plan of his own. It is revealed that Weist is actually loyal to Kazuya and has been receiving instructions from Excel, who had been present in Altamura the entire time, with the purpose of prolonging Gaius' advance as much as possible. Castor deploys his air force to confront the Forbidden Army but is caught off guard when Kazuya dispatches his largest battleship, Albert, directly towards Castor's fortress. Castor orders his daughter, Carla, to destroy the ship and capture Kazuya. Carla regrets her inability to persuade her father to align with Kazuya. She proceeds to sabotage the ship's wheels, but discovers that there is no crew or Kazuya on board, only a wooden hand. It dawns on her that Kazuya had been exclusively controlling Albert through his magic, luring out the remaining Air Force. This strategic move enables Kazuya and his army to launch an assault on Castor's fortress, catching them off guard without any defenses. Aisha, Lycia, and little Musashibo emerge victorious in their battle against Castor. Accepting his defeat, Castor, along with Carla, is compelled to wear slave collars. Tallman, Castor's subordinate, assumes command of the Air Force and is instructed to provide support to the Forbidden Army. Carla expresses surprise at Kazuya's casual interactions with individuals he considers friends, such as Habert and Kate. Carmine makes it known to the corrupt nobles that they have been defeated, and when they propose using citizens as human shields, he has them arrested and, along with himself, subjected to slave collars. Kazuya reveals that Carmine was never a traitor. In fact, he had remained loyal to Kazuya all along, but had pretended to be a traitor in order to expose the treachery hidden among the corrupt nobles. This enabled Kazuya to eradicate their influence for good, a crucial piece of information Glaive had shared during their private meeting. Excel unveils her true identity to Gaius, who comes to the realization that he has been deceived. Kazuya broadcasts his victory over Carmine and Castor to the kingdom along with his intention to invade Amidina. Gaius attempts to return to Amidina, but encounters a series of ambushes by the Forbidden Army, resulting in the loss of half his forces. By the time he reaches Van, the royal capital of Amidina, Kazuya has already seized control of the city. Gaius commands his army to initiate an attack. This decision leaves Kazuya troubled, realizing that he must adopt the demeanor and responsibilities of a true king. Gaius subsequently orders his son, Julius, to retreat from the battle. However, Gaius himself enters the fray with the intention of killing Kazuya. In a poignant moment, Kazuya tries to convey his last will and testament to Carla, proposing that Lycia be named queen in the event of his demise. Carla, refusing to accept this, insists on taking the responsibility of killing Gaius on Kazuya's behalf. Carla becomes overwhelmed by Gaius during their confrontation until he is momentarily distracted by Kazuya's arrival. This diversion allows little Musashibo to seize Gaius and self-destruct. Although Gaius survives momentarily, he spitefully throws his sword at Kazuya's feet before being shot by Kazuya's archers. Roroa receives the news of her father's death and, despite her distaste for him, begins to shed tears. Recognizing that he cannot legally claim Amidina due to the prohibition on inter-kingdom wars and the prevailing animosity of Amidina's citizens towards Elfrieden, Kazuya instead decides to sell their stockpiles of weaponry to raise funds for reconstruction efforts. He also arranges for food supplies from Elfrieden to address Amidina's shortages. Furthermore, Kazuya organizes a musical program, hosted by Aisha and Juna, featuring Margarita Wonder, Amidina's beloved general, performing their national anthem. This serves as a demonstration of Kazuya's goodwill towards Amidina, both in the present and in the future. Maria Euphoria, the visionary leader of the Grand Chaos Empire responsible for instituting the prohibition on inter-kingdom warfare, dispatches her sister Jean to meet with Kazuya. Despite the constant celebrations among Amidina's citizens following the end of Gaia's oppressive military rule, Kazuya remains exhausted. Poncho makes a significant discovery of lilies with edible roots akin to potatoes, which could potentially resolve Amidina's food shortages. However, due to the presence of toxic pollen, the lilies can only be harvested by orangutans. To tackle this issue, Kazuya arranges for Tomoe to negotiate with the orangutans. He then takes Tomoe and Juna on a shopping excursion. Later on, Jean arrives and confronts Kazuya. She discloses that she has been observing him and expresses her satisfaction that the rumors of his indulgence in amassing a harem of renowned women are unfounded. She acknowledges his wisdom, fairness, humility, and entertainment value. Jean also offers her apologies, acknowledging that the Empire shares some responsibility for Elfrieden summoning Kazuya from Japan to settle its debts. However, Kazuya understands that it was a political necessity for Elfrieden and harbors no resentment. Unfortunately, Jean explains that Kazuya's invasion was still considered illegal, and he will be held accountable by Maria. Kazuya returns home accompanied by Tomoe and Juna, presenting gifts to Aisha and Lycia.
I hope you liked the recap. If so, don't forget to subscribe and like it.